Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP is needed more than ever, in particular as a bridge currency to move money around the planet, and here's the latest evidence to support that position. Here is breaking news from this afternoon from the Watcher Guru account on Twitter, shared the following with 1.3 million followers. Breaking: Binance to remove USDC as a tradable asset on its platform beginning September 29th, 2022. And so there you go. One of the largest stablecoins on the entire planet being removed as a tradable asset on the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. And so I tweeted something, I didn't have it pulled up for this video, but I was like, what about all the people, something to this effect, like, what about all the people that said that you don't need XRP? Well, you just use USDC, use a stable coin to move money around the planet. You don't need XRP, it'd be a stable coin to win, right? Okay, yeah, except for anything connecting to the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange on the entire damn planet. Right, okay. And so I want to articulate some reasons why it never made sense that the stable coins would be the best positioned to fill the role as a bridge currency. Ain't gonna be the case. Not that they won't move money like they are today, moving value around the planet for people. They are helping people, but I'm just telling you specifically as a bridge currency. At this point, it looks like XRP or bust because nothing else on the planet is being positioned for this particular use case or adopted to this. Like it's not happening. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so here's where the news came from. This is the source, and it was shared by the Watcher Guru account. This is Binance's official website. And it's not just USDC that's getting hit. That's just the biggest stablecoin that's being impacted by this, which is why that's the one that's getting the headlines. But you can see here's the headline from Binance. Binance to auto-convert USDC, USDP, TUSD to BUSD, which is Binance USD. So what they're doing is they're taking those few stablecoins and they're automatically converting for their customers on that date, the 29th of this month. They're converting those stablecoins to Binance USD, which is Binance's stablecoin. And from their perspective, I mean, I'm not going to read the article. It's on your screen if you want to pause and just take a look at this. And here, I'll even scroll a little bit lower so you can see the bottom portion. Here, I'll pause here for a second. It'll go a little bit lower, so just keep pausing if you actually want to read this whole thing. But the important parts to understand here, Binance is doing this from their perspective. Of course, they want to support their stablecoin, right? So that's the real reason, right? But also, to just have liquidity pooled into one spot, they do point out that makes sense and should enhance the customer experience. And in theory, that's correct. I don't know if there are liquidity shortages with those other stablecoins. I don't really pretend to know anything about it. I don't even use stablecoins for myself because I don't get in and out of positions. I personally have never needed them. I'm not a trader. I just buy and hold. So I don't pretend to know anything about those other stablecoins, but it doesn't matter. In theory, what they're saying makes sense, in particular if there actually were liquidity problems, but I think it's probably more so just to prop up their stablecoin, BUSD. And so there you go. And you actually can still, cash out to USDC. It's just not being traded on the platform. But if that's what you want, there you go. It's just not traded on their platform anymore. So how is that going to work? Having already on the world's largest exchange, they're just like, no, you can't trade one of the largest stablecoins on the planet. So how's that going to help as a bridge currency? So here's the truth of it. Look, one of the biggest benefits to positioning XRP as a bridge currency is that it's done in the background. You can have people the world over take advantage of XRP without knowing that XRP is used in the plumbing. They can just go to wherever they go in the legacy financial system, a remittance firm. They can go to a bank that's partnered with Ripple utilizing on-demand liquidity, and the flows happen in the background. You don't have to worry about onboarding the entire population of the planet in order for XRP to be used. It'll just be used. But if you're talking about instead, and I've had some people say this stuff to me, it's like, but I could just move USDC to, as I say, I wanted to send, USDC or send money to my friend over in another country. Well, then fine, I can still do that though, because I'll just buy USDC on my exchange here, send that USDC over there, and then they can cash out. And I'm like, okay, well, super duper. So you understand, it's estimated, what, something like 3% of humans on the planet have ever held any crypto at any point in time. So what about the other 97%? So already right there in the short term, you've got a serious problem. But there are much bigger problems than that. USDC, there's a central authority there with the stablecoin, the entity that controls the actual stablecoin, but it's even more ridiculous than that, because then you have the federal government, which is a separate entity, the Federal Reserve in the United States, which controls the monetary policy, which will impact everything that happens with that other entity that runs the stablecoin. So that's a lot of freaking counterparty risk, isn't it? You don't have that with XRP, and you will not have a United States dollar stablecoin literally listed on every single exchange on the entire planet and then paired with everything else that exists. It's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. But with XRP, that can happen. In fact, other than what's happened in the United States, obviously a lot of halting and delisting of XRP as a result of the SEC stuff in the United States anyway. Other than that, which I think is going to be temporary ultimately, we'll see what happens. But other than that, XRP is on pretty much every exchange on the entire damn planet. So how come XRP is getting listed? Right? Because, I mean, XRP's got whatever it is, a $16 billion market cap. How many trillions of United States dollars are there? But the dollar doesn't get to be on every exchange. Well, because XRP doesn't have a central authority. There's no geographic geopolitics at play in any corner of the world with XRP, other than, of course, this is a blip on the radar, I think, the SEC claiming that XRP is a security by the nature of it existing. The security of Ripple is completely absurd stuff. But the rest of the world's like, well, yeah, clearly listing this here makes sense that there's any sort of demand for it. Why wouldn't we just list the damn thing? It's one of the most liquid cryptocurrencies on the entire damn planet. And then additionally, even if you didn't have all these concerns that I've cited as far as their, United States dollar stablecoins are not in every single region of the world, and you're not going to have a pair for all this stuff. But even if you take all that stuff out, and even if you think, well, why doesn't it just get plugged into some sort of software, kind of like what RippleNet does with on-demand liquidity? Oh, okay. What business is going to create an equivalent to on-demand liquidity? What's the business model there? How are you going to onboard new customers to get it adopted? Because Ripple's been doing this for the better part of a decade. How's this new competitor going to come along and then have a stablecoin used in the background? How are you going to make sure that stablecoin, which has a central authority there, how are you going to make sure that that gets adopted and there's enough liquidity the world over? How are you going to do that? What's the customer service? Like who do they call it? To onboard the tech? Who's onboarding the customers? Who's offering customer support? And again, how is any of that profitable, even if you do that? Like, you show me that. And of course, I already know, and you probably do too, there is no company doing that. The only company trying to do anything even close to this is Ripple in positioning XRP as a bridge currency. And so I just like squashing this stuff again and again because there's so many people, especially the Bitcoin maxi types, who have engaged in almost zero critical thinking on the topic and don't know what they're talking about and don't understand basic payment flows. Like, I'm not pretending to have some sort of finance background here. I sure as hell do not. I'm just a regular dude who did my own research, but you can figure this stuff out. That's why I'm so glad I have this platform where I can share what I do know about it. And you can share with me things because I don't know everything either. You guys can share stuff with me too. I love to continue to learn. That's awesome about being a part of the XRP community. But this is the direction that things are going. So all of these central bank digital currencies, they just keep on rolling out. There's going to be more and more and more. So check this out. There is this headline from Cointelegraph: Reserve Bank of India preparing to trial a central bank digital currency with public sector banks and fintechs. And I don't really feel like reading the article. I just want to make the point that this stuff's been developing. Here's an article from August 12th of this year from Cointelegraph. Russia plans to roll out digital ruble across all banks in 2024. And so, mind you, as I'm going through this, these central bank digital currencies make it easier and less costly, or they should anyway, for money to move around the planet. You're encouraging greater flows of money, get into a world where micropayments make sense, and all of this needs to be bridged. So as you have increased flows that are effectively free, and that's where we should get anyway, then you have an increased need to bridge it all because there's not going to be a pair for every single asset that exists on every single exchange the world over. You're always going to need a bridge, even if you have a world where you have a United States dollar stablecoin on most exchanges. Even if you reach that world, you're still going to there's not going to be a pair for everything. You need to be able to interoperate. It couldn't be more obvious that it makes sense to have something that does that, and XRP is the only cryptocurrency that's being positioned for such a use case. And it's the best crypto on the planet for payments. How do you get better than basically zero cost and instant settlement? XRP already does that. You know, and once a standard's set, I mean, having a marginal increase, like, you know, say, oh yeah, well, XRP takes 3 minutes or 3 seconds rather to settle. Well, here's my coin, does it in 2 seconds. Oh, so what, XRP ceases to exist? No, no, no. That's not how humans work. You don't throw away something that becomes a standard if it does indeed become a standard because something's marginally better. It needs to be 10-fold better or 100-fold better. It needs to be way, way, way better, or people aren't going to just ditch it. That's how humans behave. We've seen that across time. That is true. So you're going to, as all these central bank digital currencies continue to come out, you're going to need to bridge them. XRP's never been more needed than today, and I think it's going to be way more needed in the future. I firmly believe that to be the likely outcome here. We'll see what happens. And then there's this, and I may dig this more in coming videos, but I wanted to at least mention it here from Cointelegraph. Bank of Russia agrees to legalize crypto for cross-border payments report. And so this is a newer article from just 16 hours ago. Check this out. The Bank of Russia, the country's central bank, has reportedly admitted that cross-border payments in crypto are inevitable in the current geopolitical conditions. The Russian central bank has been rethinking the approach to regulating crypto and agreed with the finance ministry to legalize crypto for cross-border payments, the local news agency TASS reported on Monday. There you go. So it's coming. And you'll increasingly see governments the world over. Now, if you think that this is to skirt the system, if they think there's a technological advantage to this, in rather than using some sort of let's say technology method from the world of legacy finance, okay. But even utilizing cryptocurrencies in terms of cross-border payments, I do want to be clear that this doesn't do anything to change geopolitical factors in terms of who will or will not engage in economic activity with Russia. That won't change regardless. And because understand, even if Russia's kicked out of SWIFT entirely, like 100%, there are nations out there that will still be willing to transact. And so even without SWIFT, they can implement their own technology, and that is still correspondent banking. It still is. So it's not going to stop. So whether there's crypto technology powering that or not, just be clear, that doesn't change anything. If they think there's efficiencies to be had with that, and they do, obviously, well, then they'll use them. But again, I'm just talking about increasing the flow of money. That's like really the overarching point I wanted to get across in this video. It's just a complex topic, so it takes a lot of words to explain this and a lot of repetition for it to stick, especially for people that are new to crypto. But that's why all of this is actually useful. It actually makes sense. That's why I don't think XRP is ever going away. Unless there's a world where something comes out of left field and something actually gets adopted for this use case that isn't XRP. Okay, fine. Well, I'm going to keep watching like that like a hawk. I don't see it. I see nothing even close today. If it happens, okay, I'll talk about it. Maybe I'll invest in that if it's a cryptocurrency. But today, no, that's not it. There's all the reason in the world to be thrilled about the long-term viability of XRP. This is just one use case that Ripple's positioning XRP for, but there are others. This is just the biggest and most well-known one, sure. But XRP just oozes. It oozes utility. It's like pussy and it's oozing. It's really gross and it's awesome. It's oozing pussy utility. It's fantastic. That's the best way to look at it. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.